Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Okay. Yeah, after that lunch catered to us by Via Mare, we would spend another about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, for another 4 sessions of learning. And we still have about 2 more sessions remaining. And to start off our session this afternoon, I'd like to call on to talk about poverty alleviation and ecotourism is our man from, it says here, China and Hong Kong. And I'm referring to no other than Alan Wong. Let's give him a round of applause.
Buhai. My pronunciation is not too good, right? Okay. I only know 大家好,下晝好. I speak in Cantonese, what we speak in Hong Kong. Anyway, okay. Sorry. So I'm Alan Wong. Okay. I'm AEM board member representing Hong Kong and China. Okay. And then I retired from my 30 years of teaching as an educator in high school, vocational training school, and university. And now I have my consulting company. If you want to know more about my background, you can chat with my website here called Global Dragon. And my email, alan.wong@connect.polyu.hk. All right? So without further ado, I'd like to move on for my presentation, right? So you see, I'm truly committed to my organization, Asian Ecotourism. You see my PowerPoint background. I use my AEM PowerPoint background. All right? So colleagues, next time, your presentation. All right, anyway, before my move on my presentation, I have 2 questions for you to think about, but no prize, to be honest. But after that, I still have my, this time my biscuit for a lucky draw at the end, right? I'm guarantee you, I bought it here, and I'm sorry. Oh, empty, no more, it's here, all right? And I got 2 more, and a gentleman in the front is that I come because I want your cookies. He got 1 small one. No, we got, okay, we're going to give the whole bag. Or you can share, everybody share. Okay, thank you. Everybody share at the end. How about at the end? Anyway, I move on. So, first question, is poverty still a global issue? How many say yes? Please put up your hand. Oh, thank you. Where's our princess here? No? Me. Now, I remember the first day, her presentation about the minimum goal, right? That she lists out all these saying that I can see from her about that. It seems that poverty is not really too bad in her PowerPoint. And I better off record, do not record this in your video. In China, do you think we still have a poverty? Yeah. But according to the government statistic, we are doing very well. I'm sorry, but keep that off the record. Right? Now, as a scholar, teacher, we always question about official statistics. Right? You have to be very critical about statistics. And when I was 40 years ago studying in Manchester, UK, the first lesson about research method is called how to lie with official statistics. You see? Okay, now, I'm going to talk about how ecotourism possible contribute to this issue, right? That is what I'm let you to think about it, right? So we, for the last few years, the whole global economy have been affected by COVID-19. And as you can see, for the last 30 years, actually we are doing well with the poverty alleviation, right? Steadily doing quite good. And by 2015, we already reduced global extreme poverty rate, cut half already. So we're doing good. But the COVID-19 have a setback for us, okay? And you know that the war we're still getting in Ukraine, and this climate change is a global issue. Everybody talk about it, right? And then that makes our poverty alleviation issue backward, right? So I think this issue is still valid to talk about, even though I talk a lot about this for the past few years for my presentation. I just update you that at least we are further back, and by 2030, then we will coming back to what we originally want to do. You see how situation is. So I don't need to go through this because a few presenter already talked about this MGD thing, right? Why we have it, right? Because we want to have bring the poor area for the income generation, job creation. That's what we call positive impact on the economy. And sustainable tourism is quite important, especially at a community level. And we have a lot of benefit for the women and the youth. As you can see, the last 2 days kind of presentation, even today, we talk a lot about how community-based tourism benefit the young people and the women, okay? And then actually a lot of international agencies come in, like the World Bank, different organizations, they are giving their hand in here. And sometimes, actually in literature, we call this po-poor tourism. Actually, I doesn't like this term, po-poor tourism, all right? But anyway, that is in the literature that we talk about this issue, right? Now, the objective of my presentation, first, I want to raise the awareness that ecotourism is a tool for poverty alleviation. Second, I want to share about my experience that a subject that I taught for more than 6 or 7 years, and it seems quite good, and I would like to share especially academics. If you are from school that you want to share with me, and I help you to build up this course in your school. And you contact AEN, I will be delighted to help you. All right? Any country that you want to set up a course like this, I'm very experienced in this. Please contact AEN. All right? And then I try to help to promote this course, surface learning, and in educational institutions. Right, so as I mentioned about that, this kind of surface learning, what I'm promoting is very good for community-based ecotourism, which today, this morning, Victor, right, talked a lot about it, and then must be benefit the local residents, and then they need to control it, you know. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of situations that the community-based tourism are being controlled by tour operator, right? It's not really benefit. They have not empowered the local people to manage their project, okay? So that's important, empower the local to do it. Now, I don't want to go through it. If you go to Google Scholar, you can find a lot of successful story from different countries. For example, in Zimbabwe, in Laos, there's a case study. And also in Yunnan, there is the province I go there for few times already. It's really the situation that we need to pay attention in Yunnan. I go there many, many times for my last. I just want to share the one of the researcher in her case study saying that, well, that ecotourism actually is a very good strategic choice for poverty alleviation in Yunnan. I just want to emphasize that from the case study, very detailed study, they support the evidence of ecotourism is a good tool to help poverty alleviation. So this is the school before my retirement called Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Our dean say we are world number 1 or 2 ranking for our school. And the subject I create myself is called Ecotourism Rural and Developing Regions. So that means I'm not just doing this, project in Hong Kong, anywhere, of course, including China. We got developing regions and rural area. So roughly I talk about this subject is that we will like to train the student have a generic competence, right? Innovative problem solving, teamwork and communication skill. And we will have a course for 1 semester. And I teach it, I invite some colleagues to teach it. And then we have target 1 village to do it. And I will do the site visit. Before that, we talk to the community leader, what they want, and then build up our relationship with them, and before I take my student to go there. Now, this is the countries and the places I've been to since 2014. I've been to a small village called Qingping in Sichuan. Actually, that's after the earthquake in China. This is a big earthquake there. You know the term called dark tourism? You heard about this term? Dark tourism, right? That is the thing we're trying to help out and promote it. And then there's another Chengdu. Again, they got earthquake there, and then we'll go there. Cambodia, Seoul Island, and I don't know how to say, Samorn village. From Cambodia? No? Okay, anyway, we've been there. And I went to a place called Inner Mongolia, Jiedang. This is a really interesting place, very cold up north of China, and very beautiful there. And I went to Yunnan, Dali. I don't know, maybe some of you heard about Dali, Yunnan, right? And then I went to Indonesia, Bandung, right? You see? And then for the last 2 years, I went to Yunnan, Dali, called Yongping. And I stopped after that because of the COVID. And actually, this Chinese New Year, I got a professor in China. Oh, Alan, are you coming back? I say, well, see what the situation look like this summer. So I will be going there this summer. So this is one of the projects our students, we're going to Inner Mongolia. Okay, now, before we go for 1 week or 10 days, something like that. We do something what we call inventory taking. See what kind of resources they get, right? So we find that they have a hunting culture, horse culture, and then they have a lot of interesting national dancing and handicrafts, and they have a national festival called Nandem Harvest Festival. This is a very big festival every year. So they have a very rich kind of resources to do this. And we help them to do better with my students. My students are taking an elective from all different disciplines because this is an elective subject. But it's very popular. 2,000 applicants, students for this elective. I select about 20 students to do it. Right? So it's a very competitive subject. And this is one of the things we help to train the local. And this, we stay in their home. Right? You know that the local, they're very shy, and how we overcome, communicate with them, and we give them some training on how to do better homestay, provide better service, hygiene, all this. I once get diarrhea. You know, diarrhea? Go to toilet many, many times, okay? And not only me, half of my students, they also have the same situation, right? So as a teacher, we just say safety, safety, safety. I always aware of that. So this is very impressive about this. We empower them how to do better to do their homestay. We don't teach them. We enhance their abilities. So they initiate this project. They say, oh, we want to do better about our homestay. They do their logo or door sign. You see, they are very engaged in this activity. That's what I love it. And they are proud of their project, right? I give you one example. Another example is Kunming. I think those in South Asia, you know Kunming. Huh? And another group of students, my colleague, we went there. Now, we have an event day for the kids. You see, they look very happy. Now, these kids are what we call, I see in Cantonese as well, 留守兒童. That means they are being left behind in the villages. Their parents, they went to the big city to earn money and send it back home. So nobody take care of them. All the parents take care of them. Right? So very poor kids. So we go there, they love our young students, and they take them as a brothers and sisters, and they are really happy about it. And we also let them to learn some environmental awareness education, 3R. You know how difficult to teach the kids about 3R, and they let them to put different, separate different garbage. It works. They know how to do it. They love to do it. Of course, I bring with my cookies with them, huh? As an incentive. Right? You see how they did it? Right? So don't underestimate their learning ability, the kids. All right? And now this is another project that called oral history. I don't know whether if you're familiar with anthropology. This is an anthropologist's work. And I carry out with the student to ask the old people to tell their story, very rich story, okay? And this rich story is very touching story about how their village being robbed before, what happened in the war, right? And then this material is very useful for tour guiding and for commentary. So we produce this material to help the tour guide, all right? So they don't need, and we train the tour guide how to use this material. So this is an example from Cambodia. This is some local student. We partner with the local institution. We teach the student how to be a tour guide. We provide the tour guide training, and we also have IETM planning for them to design bicycling, very environmental kind of transportation. We decide the routing, we try it out, okay, safety again, all right? And then this is another very touching story in Cambodia. You look at this lady, huh? She produced these baskets, right, to sell it. Now, that's what I say, poverty elevation is not to give them money. What Albert said, that the term, I forgot Albert, what kind of, you help the poor people, huh? Huh? Toxic charity. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Toxic charity. Don't give them money. I don't buy this. I don't just give them something. But in return, I buy something what they produce. So they feel have achievement. You see, she is the fund line for ecotourism. She made this from this plastic bag to this. Can you imagine that, right? So that's why I say I also went to Bandu, bring a group of students to preserve the local culture. This seminar with them, and we go to the village and help them to promote this local culture. So last but not least, I'd like to share this experience with you, right, for my project. First, good planning well in advance is the key for success for surface learning. Second, site visit with a good communication with different stakeholders. That means local partner, government officials, school, village leaders. It's very, very important. Third, always prepare for crisis management. You don't know what happened there. Always kind. I have a female student fall in love with the local. How are you going to deal with it? I want to fall in love with the local as well. Myself. Okay, be a good listener to your student and other stakeholders. There is always the need for cultural sensitivity kind of mindset, right? Please respect the local culture. Capacity building, this is very, very important. That's what I'm good at because I've been teaching human resource management for the last 20 years for my master's degree in China. And then align students to help local community to develop community-based ecotourism, and we will achieve poverty elevation. And it is a win-win strategy and a good practice. What I mean win-win strategy is both for the local and the student, okay? What I feel at the moment, it seems that governments, I'm sorry that I have to say that, and educational institutions, they're not fully aware of the potential of making better use of students. Look at today, how many students coming? Push up your hand. No? Gone already. Good. The students, they're powerful. We have so many students. We have to train them to be professional, and we need to groom them and let them be part of our team here in future. Students from different disciplines with knowledge and skill could be very innovative, and the outcomes always a win-win situation. As I said earlier, both for student and local, they all benefit. And we should promote better use of servant learning in educational institutions to combine ecotourism to help poverty elevation. We urge different government and stakeholders to support all these activities and support me as well. Okay? Thank you. If you want to learn more about this, I have a publication in a different journal and journal paper. Thank you. And this is my contact.
Thank you, Dr. Alan, for that very insightful presentation. Yes, tourism is really a way out of poverty. No? In fact, it's also a way for wealth generation. If I remember it right, the UN actually, in its General Assembly in December 2012, passed a resolution recognizing poverty, no? a landmark resolution recognizing poverty, recognizing ecotourism as a tool to solve, no? as a solution for poverty. Of course, if done right, okay? So thank you very much again, Dr. Alan. Let's move on with our next presentation, and I'll check the program. Okay, it's there. So moving on, let's go to Laos and hear how the country has been able to recover from COVID, okay, and the pandemic. So ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome with another warm round of applause, Solinara Ratana Inta.
Well, it's already been Exciting to be presented after Alan, how to keep the energy in the same level, okay? I will try to do my best, okay? So, Mabuhay Sabaydi. Can you say that? Mabuhay Sabaydi. Yeah, I think our language are like kind of good aligned, so it's nice. First of all, let me introduce myself. Sorry. So, for those who never know me, my name is Sulinara Ratchanawong from Laos. I am a lecturer and a professional consultant for education, hospitality, and tourism, and as well as human resource development. And yes, I am a board member of AEM. And this is a topic that I will cover today in the 15-20 minutes. So I will talk about the tourism index in Laos, the impact of COVID-19, the tourism recovery roadmap from Laos, and ecotourism recovery in the southern of Laos. Okay. So to give you some overview, yesterday you may heard from Mr. Inti already, but yeah, I still need to do that. So tourism industry is the one of the biggest income, the source of income for the country right after mining and electricity. Right in 2019, just before the invasion of the COVID-19, there were 4.7 million visitors come to Laos with the spending around 934 million USD. And it's also create employment for more than 300 people in the both direct and indirect job. Through tourism, we are able to feature the local food, the heritage site, and also national costume and festival, as you can see in the picture. I hope you are not hungry, right, from this, okay? And however, ecotourism is the heart of Lao tourism industry, since it is the best we can offer. It has been promoted more and more in the past decade. There are 17 provinces and one capital city, which every one of each has its uniqueness and charming, as well as there are 12 protected national parks with stunning natural landscape, including a spectacular limestone, mountain, rainforest, and waterfall. And I apologize that there are no exact number or proportion of how many ecotourism visitors in that number. Just like Mihi mentioned yesterday, another day, that there's the challenge of the lack of data. Yeah. And yes, then when COVID-19 come on the surface, of course, it has huge impact on the tourism industry as well as other industry. There was a huge drop of revenue from $4.7 million, 4.7 million visitors, dropped to about 800,000, just 2-3 months before the country closed down. And most of the workers, both direct and indirect, had been impacted through unpaid salary, loss of income, increase in outstanding debt, and many businesses has been closed or faced a cash flow issue as a result of COVID-19. And I believe that many of us here may have the same challenge as well during that time. Therefore, Lao government has adopted the tourism recovery roadmap as follows. First is enhancing domestic tourism, and second is travel bubble, and also promote more sustainable tourism. And this three roadmap has covered 3 themes, such as economic relief of protected job and intervention to revive the tourism sector, build confidence amongst travelers and strengthen the sector, and upgrade and expand the diversified tourist product, services, and market. Let me give you some more concrete example. The domestic tourism is the most outstanding one from my observation as well. The domestic tourism has been increasing since the pandemic. Right before Lao, people more like traveling abroad or outside of the country. Just like Mr. Inti mentioned yesterday that during that time it was very hard for everyone, but business owners were ready to lower the price and or even lost their profits just to keep the business going. This initiative allow Lao people to travel and explore more about the simply beautiful of Laos, to go back to the nature, to reset, and to go back to the simple life, as well as allow local community to keep generating income through providing a local tour, offering local food, providing a homestay. And still now, the trend is still keep growing among the local tourists. And these are some picture from my friend, so it's the real picture. And these kids are doing like Mr. Inti said yesterday, one day of getting into the site, just 24 hours. So they go into that place. And you can see the star and the night star. So this is very fresh, very precious place for us. Okay. And next, I will talk about the ecotourism recovery in the Southern Laos, because Southern Laos are more, as I can say, are more active in ecotourism sector. Therefore, strategy divided into two phases: 2022 to 2024 and 2025 to 2027. The first strategy is tourism development, which cover 4 guidelines. First is tourism product development in the southern of Laos is in line with the tourist trend and be able to link to the regional and international trend as well. Protected the environment to ensure that the sustainability of tourism development. Enhance safety and security for tourists, just like Dr. Meena mentioned yesterday. And fourth is develop the basic infrastructure to enhance more accessibility. And the second is a tourism market. Of course, is to increase the use of modern technology in advertising campaign, like upgrading the accuracy of Google Map advertising surface, and also organizing public relation activity to reach the target market both locally and internationally. And third is the destination management, strengthening ability for the business owner and authority in terms of destination management. And yes, lastly is the most important one is human resource development, increase cooperation between the public and private sector in the human resource development, train, retrain, and providing more solid knowledge as well as soft skills. Personally, I think, I believe that knowledge is a key to success, just like Dr. Alan just mentioned, to get out of the poverty. Okay. And besides that, Plan International and Ministry of Industry and Commerce has signed a memorandum of understanding to support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprise in Lao tourism industry called Subtour Laos. The Subtour Laos will mobilize and mentor Lao tour operator hotel in first in 3 locations: Vientiane capital, Vientiane province, and Luang Prabang province to adapt and promote sustainable consumption and production practice throughout their supply chain and business processes. This includes using the local supplier, plus purchasing environmental friendly product, conserving natural resource, and applying socially responsible way of interacting with local community. This roadmap and project are places to strengthen the tourism industry in Laos, especially sustainable tourism. And hopefully that local community, farmers, supplier, hotelier, tour operator, and restaurant owner will come back on their feet one day on a small solid ground with the support from the government. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Solinara, for sharing to our Philippine audience how your country did recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm sure every Filipino should learn that, among other things, Solinara was talking about aggressive promotion through digitalization, capacity building, and then diversifying the market and product development. Those are important. and I think human resource development. Okay? So, in case you didn't know, in case you missed it, Solinara is actually the face of the tourism future, the future of tourism. She won it in 2014, right? Pacific Asia Travel Association, face of the future. There you go. In recognition of young professionals who really excel and support Asia Pacific tourism industry. Isn't that great? Okay. Thank you very much. So let's move on. Can we flash the program? I'm sorry. Okay. So from Laos, we will go to Nepal, of course. No? Okay. So let's give a big hand to Samir Tapa, who will talk on education on ecotourism practices, skills development to meet the needs of ecotourism. I'm sorry? Sorry, education on ecotourism practices. Maybe I need coffee.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know that it's getting late, but I'll try my best to cover it within a time period. Sorry. Yeah, my name is Samir Thapa. I run the Hospitality Management College from the grassroots level to the master's level in Nepal. We've been working in the ecotourism for the last 16 years, especially in the academia. I'm a board member of AEN as well. The first slide which I am going to show over here, most of you know what Mount Everest is all about. It's the roof of the world. It's the tallest mountain on the earth, but what we talk about ecotourism over there. In last 3 days, 3 participants has asked me, have you climbed Mount Everest? I said, not in this life, probably next life. This is not easy, you know that. But what is ecosystem over there? When you talk about this mountain, if you see the Mount Everest, on your left is the Lhotse and another right is the Nutse. There's nothing over there, right? Except you see snow, glacier river, stone, and the weather. This is what ecosystem over there. And the human being. There's no settlement over there, but how the global warming has been changing the entire ecosystem of Himalayas and the Everest region. The Himalayas ranges from, it goes from Myanmar, Bhutan, Nepal, India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The whole range is called the Himalayas range. But if you see that, how it works. So I'm going to talk about this. In our local language, we call it Sagarmatha. Actually, Sagar is the height, Matha is the head. So it's a head of everyone. And it's also called the peak of the heaven. It's a very holy mountain for us. And in Tibetan, it's called Chomolungma because it attached with the Tibet. We have got 8 of the tallest mountain in the world out of 10, if you see that. But we are not limited with this rocks, snow, and the mountains. We are a very diversified country. You can find the range of 126 meter from the sea level to the top of the world within your 400 kilometers periphery. And we are divided into 3 different geographical regions. Upper one is a mountain, we call it Himalaya region. Middle one is the hills, which I represent. The capital is the Kathmandu, and the plain land we have. So we have a snow, we have a hills, we have a forest, plain lands, and other thing. But we are the landlocked country. I'll show you one clips. Hope you, can you just play it? I don't know. Okay. Before I go into my topics, like just give you the little bit of history, like George Everest is the one who actually measured the height of the Mount Everest. That's why internationally it's called the Mount Everest. The Sherpas, the legendary Sherpas, there's a kind of a tribe who lives in the Khumbu Valley, which is 14,000 feet above. They've been living there for centuries. These are the legendary one who actually is the real indigenous people from the Khumbu Valley of Mount Everest region. We have got a national park which was declared in 1979, and the first two people who have stepped up on the top of the mountain is Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. So how do we go into this? I'm still using this one quote wherever, like when you see in the YouTube and all other, whatever, the social media, it's always called top 10 most dangerous airports in the world. I'm showing it over here because it has given a huge negative impact on tourism, those who are coming. It was there when it was in 1970s, when we didn't have a runways, we didn't have facilities like that. But I don't know why it's still called like most dangerous airport in the world. I have been to this airport more than 400 times in my life. I have never faced anything, you know that, in these kind of aircrafts which we've been using. I don't know. But still, I mean, I don't want you to surprise when you look into the social media and find out that, okay, this is the most dangerous airport and I don't want to fly there, you know that. Okay, this is how like you start the trekking. We are not going to climb the Mount Everest. We're going for trekking. Okay. 2 years of pandemic is blazing these guys for us, for the mountains, for our whole Himalayas. Himalayas got time to get rest, breathe, and nurture as what should be. This is the real blessing for us. It has not been misused. We've been misusing this. The human foods have been misusing this for last 40, 50 years. But what we got to know that the micro weather in the ranges, micro weather in the mountains has been maintained very well in the last 2 years because of no pollution has been happened. This is very good for us. Once you get into the place called Lukla Bazaar, which is like 100-meter bazaar, and it has got all the facilities. You see the bar, you see the cafes and all this. So what used to happen is the trekkers, the tourists used to come, take all the plastic things, takes all this, whatever the waste products used to go in the trekking group and throw back. Now, within that 2 years of time, our government, our National Tourism Board has had a long discussion especially with educators like us, and then we came up with a monitoring process, how it should be executed. We all, educators and education institutes, committed that how we're going to use our students, that be there for 15 days, a month, and regulate the entire thing. So beyond this point, no tourist is allowed to take any waste material, unnecessary, apart from oxygen cylinder, whatever the canned food, plastic food. But it is recorded nowadays at the entry point of your trekking. So whatever you are taking it, you have to bring it back. And there is a different laws which has been created over there that is 100% eco-friendly. Because what happens in the mountains, in this high altitude, if the micro weather get disturbed, then it is very difficult for you to do the trekking as well as go by the aircraft or anything. Usually on the very high mountains it does not rain, but it has been raining at the base camp of Mount Everest for last 10 years because of global warming. These mountains are our blood line. All the waters what we get in the entire country and flows down to the Indian Ocean is from there. We are blessed with the hydropowers. So if this mountain doesn't exist, I don't think so will exist in the country. So once The trekking route starts from Lukla. You see these lodges, these are all eco lodges nowadays. Very luxury one been created, but even the lodge owners are not allowed to get the plastics, on eco-friendly products, anything beyond this point. So this is how our students, our education institutes are regulating. There was a policy, and still there is a policy and the rules and the regulation that you can't take it, you can take it, but the execution part was very, very weak due to the high pressure of tourists, due to the business point of view, and you think that if you don't allow them, they will not go, you will not earn money. No, but after COVID, we have done that. One good part of about the COVID is, entire the COVID period, there was no single case has been identified in this region. So the people, Sherpas, they were so well protected, they could not let anyone to come in. They are keeping the people at the airport, checking, doing the PCRs and all these things. So the entire village, entire route up to the base camp was not affected at all. There was no even single case of COVID has been recorded. So you go to this is the secondary trek to Faktin, which is like 2,651 meter. You do usually around 3 to 4 hours trek over there. Then you, after the Pakdin, you go to the Namche Bazaar. Namche Bazaar is initially the first point for tourists to enter into the Everest region. It has been there, but after Lukla Airport was built, so it became the second point, and from that you actually need to start your journey. But before you start the journey, you have to acclimatize your body, and you cannot just go walk and walk and walk every day. It is not, no. You're going to die, to be very frank. You know that. You have to give a rest and make sure that your body acclimatizes as needed. So then you go to the, day 5th, the Namche Bazaar, then Thangpoze, then day 6, you go to the Thangpoze, and then day 7, again, you need to rest. So these are the lodges. You can see that they are beautiful lodges. But how these lodges has been built? Initially, we used to have all like, iron, tin, and other things has been used. Now, the regulation has been passed by the local government that either you use a stone or you use woods interior as a woods. That is how you maintain the temperature. You avoid lots of air conditions over there. Sometimes, and many times you need it. This is exactly what I have seen in Bhutan as well. Most of the interiors are very wooden over there. So then you go to the day 8, that you will reach 4,600 meter. Then 9th day also like you trek. You will see like there are different hours of walking because this has been set by the Nepal Mountaineering Association as per the terrain. Some terrains over the top are even straight. You don't have to climb, that. So you walk long time. But some of the terrains are so stiff, you can't walk after 4 to 5 hours. You need a rest. So this is how you're going to do. Then usually on 11th day, on 10th day, you reach the place called Kalapathar. That is the main gate of Everest Base Camp. There is nothing on the Everest Base Camp. Nobody lives there, only the expeditor who climb the mountains, they can go to the base camp only. Otherwise, you come back from the Kalapathar because after 11 o'clock, you cannot stand outside the tent in Everest Base Camp. The wind is so hard, the rocks flies, and you will be flown. This is how. So you have to come back. So usually, there are some photos. Usually, the expedition usually takes around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning till 10 a.m. in the morning. Then they stop it. So these are all trekking routes which you see. This is one of the lake which is situated on the highest region of the world. So there are lots of these lakes and glaciers are there. Some of the lakes are very holy and serene. You are not allowed to take a bath, or you are not allowed to go inside. It is all worshipped by the Sherpas, so you have to respect that. But some of the lake, you can touch the water, play with the water. Okay, this is what the Everest Base Camp. If you see on the picture, over on this side, on my right-hand side, you see all these dots of tents. You know that these all pictures are taken by me when I went there in 2014, and that time I was with the chopper taking the photograph. You see the chopper blade on the first flight also. And then these are how it is there, scattered. You know that. That was the time it was mess. Everybody was throwing all the waste over there. The waste is, usually the human waste does not make that difference to the ecosystem. But plastic, cylinders, oxygen cylinders, there are masks, there are pipes, plastic pipes, which they use for different things. The tent, the ropes, the hooks and everything, that is causing the real problem. And on the right-hand side of yours, look at this one, a kind of a pond. It's not a lake, but now it is whole filled with the water. That time, it was remained with this much of water because of pollution. You know that. So, we have done a campaign to clean the Everest and this region. So, usually there is no guarantee that these expeditions will reach the Mount Everest. Sometimes it takes you 2 days to reach if you are really a good climber, or even it takes 8 days to reach on the top, starting from the Everest Base Camp, right? So it depends, all depends on weather, all depends on you, your stamina, your experience and everything. So this is how Everest looks from the base camp. So this is also I have taken from the base camp. This is one of the climber who has climbed 9 top of the world, and unfortunately he passed away 3 years back while he was climbing the highest peak in North America. He was just like 21 years old, Sanjay Pandit. He was our brand ambassador. He was carrying my college logo that time, you know that. And he was the main leader for this Clean Everest campaign. These are the deaths which you find everywhere. That's what I'm keeping it, you know that. So far, 22,513 climbers had climbed the base camp. 280 climbers have died during the expedition or sickness. The maximum number of climbers has ever climbed is 300 climbers. Climb in 2019, 200 made it, 20 didn't make it, you know that. So now we have a restriction that we are not letting to give a license more than 100 climbers per year. This is how you need the leader that we call a Sardar, or the guide when you need to go there. The cost will come around 35,000 to climb the Mount Everest, okay? Okay, now the government fee is which is 11,000 for the fee, but you need all support, all these trainings, everything which usually costs 35,000. And one of my friend, he asked me one day, why people pay 35,000 to die? I said, if you don't die, then it is worth it, you know that. Anyway, this is how it looks. I told you about this. We didn't have a single ton. Okay, in this journey of cleaning the Everest in last 3 years' time, we have collected 10 tons of waste have been removed in the 6 month. We have been using lots of chopper to bring back all the waste which has been lying there for last 30, 35 years. What we didn't touch is 283 bodies of climbers we didn't touch. They've been resting there as it is. We left it because we don't want to touch that, because we don't want to disturb that. Because what happens, like every winter, the snow covers the bodies. And every summer, you see the bodies, you know that. Not everything open, but some parts. But this, what we believe, if you die in mountain, remain there, do not come back. So the Sherpas believe that if you die there, you straight go to the heaven. I don't know, I have never experienced that, but you know, that's what we believe. So we have not touched the bodies, human bodies, which is lying there. You know that, because, yeah. So thank you so much, and I would like to, I have one more slide there. If you check. There is one more slide. This slide. Yeah. I would like to tribute to this man, which we call snow leopard in our language. He's the one who started climbing Mount Everest without oxygen. Now everyone is trying to not to have oxygen cylinder and climb the Mount Everest. So he has climbed 10 times without oxygen. Total, he has climbed 21 times to Mount Everest. So this old man is the founder and the main trainer for Alpine Institute in France, which is the largest institute for expeditors in the world. So he recently died while crossing a small streams in the valley. He just fell down, not climbing. It's a destiny. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Samir, for that very inspiring presentation. You know, when I see photos of Mount Everest, it always reminds me of a quotation I read when I was still in high school. Remember, there were also two other guys who climbed Mount Everest who perished on their third attempt, Sir George Mallory and Andrew Irvine, English. And when George Mallory was asked, and this is the famous quote on mountains, when he was asked, why did you want to climb Mount Everest? And you know what his answer was? Because it's there. Okay, so once again, let's give a warm round of applause to Samir of Nepal. Let's move on to one last presentation before we call it a break, okay? So this time, we're moving on to Papua New Guinea. And when we talk about Papua New Guinea, we're talking about, well, including West Papua New Guinea or the whole New Guinea region, we're talking about 24 species of birds of paradise. These are the colorful birds, no, with colorful feathers. So let's hear it from our man in Papua New Guinea. Let's all welcome Mr. Chris Jamie.
Mabuhay. Good afternoon means good afternoon. How many of you have been to Papua New Guinea or heard of Papua New Guinea? Ever heard of Papua New Guinea? In this floor? Oh, can I see your hand? Okay. Who ever set foot in Papua New Guinea? Only one. Oh, no. Okay, I'll take you through. Actually, I'll introduce myself first. Three of us, we had a privilege to come here from Papua New Guinea. My friend Daniel on the other side and Penny on the other side. We take this honor and our privilege to be invited by ISST, Dr. Mina and your team. Today I am here. I'm so excited. I pay my respect to everyone who arranged this trip for us to come here. I also acknowledge a special person here today, and today is also his first, it's his birthday year. So I wish happy birthday to Mr. Masaru-san. And Masaru-san, a good story about him, he introduced me to AEN. I never heard of AEN. I was lost in the jungle of Papua New Guinea. And he actually visited one of the project sites that I worked with, a wildlife management area, small wildlife management area, 9,000 hectares. So I took him there. I actually built a small hut for him, and the hut is about to be rotten away now. So sometimes you may need to go back and maintain your hut there. Your small home is still waiting for you. Okay, I'll do three parts. During the presentation, I have 20 minutes, so I'll take my time to go as fast as I can. Papua New Guinea is a big country, so I need to cover everything, including my organization that I work with, plus the general information about the country itself. You can see the map. This is Papua New Guinea. It's a facial impression of a man, right? You can see a nose there, and on the other side could be the smoking pipe. So this is Papua New Guinea. We are closer to Australia, and Australia is our first neighbor and the country that colonized us. So it's almost 1 hour 40 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes to Australia. So you can see there. Oh. Okay, we are north of Australia. We also have land boundary with Indonesia. And we also have sea boundary with Australia, Solomon Island, Micronesia, and Guam. We are one of the largest island countries in the world because we included Indonesia as well. One of the provinces. We are lucky. We have three sea, and our capital city is Port Moresby, where all the government administration are there. And Port Moresby alone, it has 360,000 population. Our common language is called Tok Pisin. It's a mixture of English words. So when you go to Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, you speak English, they will easily understand you. If you mean anything, example, come is come, go is go. So you ask someone, come, he will come. And if you tell him to go, he will go because you say something that he understands. Okay. Okay, our land is 62,840 square meter, and it's about 178,708 square kilometers. In 2023, our population is 8 million. Just because of COVID-19, we were not moving, our population just increased over that short period of time. You know what? Because people are not moving around, they were locked in the house. So that's we have 2 million over that short period of time. We were 6 million. That's a good thing about COVID. We were locked in. Our language is 800 plus language. Like today, I don't know our friend Daniel's language. So it's 800 ethnic language. So all over the islands, everywhere you go, they have their own language. So it's a good thing about us. Okay, we have 1,000 tribal groups, ethnic groups, tribes. So different, all over the length and breadth of our nation. So different people, some of us, we live up the islands, up the mountains. They live along the coastline of the, you can see, we have the islands, so they live along the islands. We have 21 provincial administration. I know you guys might understand what is a provincial administration like. It's a province. And we have 95 districts. So that means these 95 districts are divided into those 21 provinces. Biodiversity, the content in our country. Our rainforest covers 28.2 million hectares in Papua New Guinea. We have 80% of the forest estate. With the rest of the forest, it's comprised of evergreen forest, swamp, and mostly high-density forest, tropical forest. And total forest estate covers 71% of the land area. Although we have 8 million people, but the rest of the land is covered by forest. PNG is home to the third largest tropical rainforest in the world. That's why we need to protect it. And we have 20,000 plant species, 800 coral species that's found along the seas. Okay, our marine life is so good. We have so many varieties of marine life. Like we have the turtles breeding ground. In some of our, even our provinces, there's so many places where turtle come and rest, and they have the breeding grounds there. We have 600 species of bats, and 750 species of fish, sorry, my apology, 600 species of fish, and 700 species of bat, which 24 all of them are bird of paradise. And one of the bird of paradise is our national emblem. It's an endangered species. You find it only in Papua New Guinea. You don't find it anywhere else. So we are host to 5% of the global biodiversity. And also we have 600 small islands offshore. That's how beautiful we are. How to access our visitors? You access Papua New Guinea. You either access us from Australia, and I know all of you know that you can access Papua New Guinea from Philippines as well, Manila. Singapore, we do have flights from Japan, Narita, and we also have flights from Solomon Island, and our closest neighbor, Indonesia, we can cross over from Jayapura by road. And we have also have international cruise boat visiting Papua New Guinea direct from major cities like America or either England, Canada. So we have cruise boat. They just go straight into those small islands. Our international airport is called Jackson's Airport. I already gone through that. I'll just skip this one. Okay, implementing organization in our country that covers that is responsible for tourism. We have a Ministry of Tourism in our country, and they have implementing agency which is called PNG Tourism Promotion Authority. It has a board member, and the role is to promote and market PNG around the world. So all the tourism operators, the guest houses, the tourism site, attraction sites, anything regarding anything to do with tourism promotion authority, to do with tourism, it's all been done by tourism, our tourism implementing agency called PNG TPA. So they are responsible for the marketing our country. So they participate everywhere in the world, around a fair or any exhibition, they goes around promoting our nation. PNG is a member nation to World Tourism Organization, PATA, and also SPTO, South Pacific Tourism organization. We are privileged to be member to that. And now I'm trying my best to have AN be a member of this country as well. So we might have it in future. We also have an organization called PNG Tourism Industry Association. They are the largest organization that they are responsible for tourism and hospitality organization. But it's a member. They go together. They form an organization, all the operators. So they come together every year to showcase, market their products and all this. And after they come together, showcase their products, PNG TPA select the best one and took it abroad for marketing. And also we have NCC, or National Council Commission. They are the one that to assist, facilitate, and preserve, protect, and develop, promote, and safeguard our traditional cultures of the indigenous people of Papua New Guinea. So this is the organization that's legalized or promote all the events, all the festivals, all the shows within our 21 provinces in Papua New Guinea. They have a calendar. So any event that you want to visit, you just go to them and they'll take you to whenever events happening in Papua New Guinea. And this is the good time to, you can see or witness all the cultures of Papua New Guinea at these events. And we also have IPA. They are the one that do facilitate investment for those who want to do business in Papua New Guinea. This is the office that they organize investment, they do registration for business, and anyone want to do business in Papua New Guinea. Okay, Papua New Guinea, we have so many opportunities in tourism. We have volcano, we have mountains, we have hot springs, sandy beach. We have so many things. Clean ocean for diving. We snorkeling, and we have some war relics, and we have some early history about the European settlement and European and missionary settlements. And we have sites for fishing, hiking. Visit to those flora and fauna sites. So we have so many things. One of the things that we can do now, we need standard for our operators to participate with like AN partner. And one of the good thing about our country also, when you travel to other region, it's access by road or by light plane. And most part of our country, it's not accessed by road. We go by plane, light plane. And also our ecotourism operators, although they have so many good sites, but it's not properly documented. So it's like no one is putting things together for them. And this is where I'm trying my best. So we are trying our best to get all the small operators to come together to access proper marketing. And one thing that for me doing, I'm doing ecotourism in protected area. I'll cover that later. And we have now, there is no COVID measures. Our country is open, and you can visit our country. Like for Philippines, you are mostly welcome because you have direct flights going from Manila to Port Moresby. Some of the opportunities that we have, we try and maybe we can get some good result by 2023 is being a member to AN. And also we have one of the 7 volcanic summits in the world. Not active, it's not an active volcano, so summit. And we have the highest summit in Oceania region, Mount William, that's for hiking. And we also have the Esala Cave. It's called the mothers of all caves. It's 100 kilometers deep, goes down. Ever seen one of the movie called Sanctum? that's the picture of it, the movie that they started. And also we have the Cook Archaeological Site, and it's listed as a World Heritage Site now. By back then, they witnessed, they found out that our people were being the early subsistence farmer 9,000 years ago. So it was a good, it's a heritage site there, you can come and visit. And we have the largest Bedouin butterfly in the world. It's found in Papua New Guinea. And also I mentioned earlier, there are so many events. You want to see the events exposing our cultures, you might visit some of these sites. Also in Papua New Guinea, the organization that I work with, I'm trying to venture into ecotourism. So one of the things that we are trying to do now, we are trying to practice ecotourism related to conservation. So this is the NGO that I worked with. We protect forest in Papua New Guinea. Until today, we conserve more than 360,000 of forest. It's declared. It's a protected area. No one goes there for hunting or fishing. There's a buffer zone where they go for hunting and fishing and all this. So it's a small testimony about what we have been doing. So within that protected area, we found that when you protect something or we conserve something, when you protect your forest or when we protect any forest, we like the people to venture into ecotourism. It's like you are showing what you have been protecting, like the birds, maybe a lizard, or some of the things that you conserve, you protect, is you need to show it to the people. So we are now doing that. We also are doing, we are creating sustainable financing to fund and support those ecotourism with those who have small SME business within the protected area, like those who started small guest house, we help them try to market it. And also we try to have a reference for banks to support them. And we also create events, like how can we market those events? How can we market those smaller guest house in the protected area? So if we market a small guest house in a protected area, it will take time for visitors, foreign visitors. Actually, we don't really look at foreign visitors. We looked at the local domestic people to move around, use the facility. So by doing that, we host events. You know, one good thing about events, when you host or stage an event, you see people from that area, they come together. So what they do, they leave the room, they leave whatever they have, and they come. So when they come to your area, you host them, you feed them, but they have to pay you some fees for maybe 2 days, 3 days, and they go back. So it's one of the practical approach we use. We use that. So, and all the other 12 months of a year, if someone just walked in, if they see that there's a guest house, they go in overnight. But otherwise, when we host the event, lots of them go to participate at the events. So it's like I do a data survey on how much money they earn during the events. All the operators, the ladies baking scone or flour, oh sorry, I say flour, maybe it's something similar to bread. Those who have guest houses, those who sell artifacts and all this, they earn some form of money during that time because all the people, they go there to witness the event. So this is one of the things that we do. So we call them like they are small players. And one thing we do within our product area, we use more gender inclusion. We want to have women involved in business, small activities like we want women to be guide. We want women to be porter. We want women to own a small guest house. We want women to own an artifact shop. By doing that, we see that the women are the key player. We respect women. So we started very well. We happened to send some balloon to Australia, string back. We sent some to Australia within our project. So it's a good thing. Oh. So this is you can see on the photo there. These some of the events that we host and witness. You can see the mountain there. That's Mount William. And you can see there's a picture of a person walking on a rope. I think we are the only nation in the. We are second to China. I saw some Chinese walking on the rope as well. So in Papua New Guinea too, don't forget we walk on the rope. You can't believe us. We can. That height, that length, we can walk across. People in the rural area, ethnic people, they can walk. So you cannot believe it, but they can walk. You tie 2 canes across, and they can easily cross over on a rope. So you can see a person there, he walked across the rope. And we have so many things. You see, there are snakes. It is called snake gallows. All sorts of snakes. When we host the event, people will bring hundreds of snakes. These are the rural people in the protected area. Actually, all the snakes are from the protected area. You can have. Okay, I think the time is up, but I'll just go through this one. Can you zoom it? Zoom. Oh, yeah. Okay. These are the protected area in Papua New Guinea that I worked with. So this is the organization that I worked with, and can you go up? Oh. Up. Oh, down, okay. Okay. Yeah. I have 4 protected areas in Papua New Guinea that I worked with. There's Karamui, that's 2,000 of hectares of forest that I'm protecting. In Managalas, it's 360,000 of forest. We already protected it, and it's declared, and this is the home of the world's largest butterfly. Collingwood Bay, it's 650,000 hectares. And in Aina, it's only 9,000 hectares, and our friend Masaru went there. So these are the 4 projects that I worked with in Papua New Guinea. So it represents so many people in 4 provinces, 4 districts, and total of 800 population, 80,000 population, sorry, 80,000 population from this 4 project area. So these are some of the things that you can see. We have a flyer standing outside. You might go and have a look at it. You can see on the other side, it's the donors that do fund our project in Papua New Guinea. These are the donors who support our work in Papua New Guinea for the conservation work that we've been doing in Papua New Guinea. So, and also our organization can do P3D model regarding a land map in any area within your community or project area, we can deliver the land map, land use plan for you. And also, we did some tree planting and the forest land. So far, our target is 200,000 trees we plant in Papua New Guinea. And it was funded by incentive fund. Sorry, apology. The last one is the pictures only, so I'll show you some good pictures about the wildlife and the insects. Okay, that's it. You see these are the pictures, some good pictures you might want to see. Actually, on the other side, you can see these are the standard signboard that we have in our project area. The signboard there. That's all, and thank you for your time.